Now at 7 o'clock, the man already accused of killing 3 women and dumping their bodies around the Portland area is now charged with murdering a 4th. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is going to join us live here with reaction from the victims' families.
Plus, we are 14 hours away from President Trump's tariff deadline, the latest on the countries that have yet to make a deal.
Closer to home, we've got sunflowers on the show this morning. Out in Tualatin, we find Sunrise photographer Eric Patterson showing off the Sunflower Festival at Lee Farms. Kicks off today, runs through the 24th of August. We'll have more information, some of the fun they're having out there on the farm coming up this hour as we kick off the 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We also have Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill standing by. Chris is talking traffic. Rod's got that rainy start to our Wednesday.
Yeah, hopefully you're waking up and you're looking out the window. You don't have big outdoor plans. You're thinking, oh, this is nice. We're eyeing almost up to 0.2 of an inch of rain so far in the gauge in Portland, which would be considered a good soak for this time of the year. Here it is on radar. Understand there's nothing stormy here, no wind. It's mostly light to gentle rain rates, and we're just now seeing the rain off to our west, which is where it's coming in from, starting to break up a little bit. You can see breaks in the rain now in McMinnville and out toward Hillsboro. Overall, expected to be at least drippy, if you will, through mid-morning, through 9 o'clock this morning. Salem hasn't had as much total rainfall as Portland, but it's wet down in Marion County. 63 is your current temperature. Portland, actually, we've had steady rain up until just moments ago for about 3 or 4 hours. 62 is the temperature out the door with more rain on the radar coming in. Impact alert is up this morning just for the wet conditions. Again, nothing stormy. There's a scattered shower threat that will linger this afternoon, but overall eventually will become drier and drier. 66 at noon, high temp today about 72. Here's Chris.
Rod, we've had a couple of crashes on the freeway this morning. The good news is they've cleared. So for now, as we look at the westbound Sunset, we just had a fender bender where a pickup truck was spun into the median there. It looks like that is out of the way, but we are pretty slow still on southbound 405 coming off the Fremont Bridge trying to get through the westbound Vista Ridge Tunnel. Earlier crash on the eastbound side of the freeway. That too has cleared, but the drive is still a little thick on that side of town. We take you to North Portland. There's a live look right now on I-5 on the wet pavement there, rolling southbound near Lombard. I'll step out of the way. The drive time from Clark County, guys, that's up to 22 minutes now to get you from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Jesse Calhoun, the man already accused of killing 3 women and dumping their bodies around the Portland area over 2 years ago, is now charged with a 4th murder.
Thomas Schultz is covering this story for us live at the County Justice Center in downtown Portland. Thomas, China just mentioned a moment ago, the families of the victims have been dealing with all of this now for more than 2 years.
Yeah, more than 2 years, Drew, in China. And this indictment yesterday confirms what prosecutors and families of those victims have hinted at for years. They believe Jesse Calhoun killed at least 4 women and possibly even more. The district attorney's office Tuesday announced that Calhoun had been indicted on the death of 22-year-old Kristen Smith. She was reported missing in 2022. 2 months later, her remains were found in a wooded area of southeast Portland. Yesterday, we spoke to her mother, Melissa Smith, who's still in grief over her daughter's death.
She was a beautiful soul. She was always there for everybody else. Give you the shirt off her back.
Calhoun now faces a total of 4 counts of second-degree murder and abuse of a corpse for a string of suspicious deaths. Joanna Speaks, Charity Perry, and Bridget Webster's bodies were all found in wooded or secluded areas around Portland over several months starting in 2023. Now, prosecutors haven't yet said how they linked Calhoun to these crimes or how he knew the women. Calhoun has pleaded not guilty. His trial is set for 2027.
Thomas, before we let you go, there's also been a 5th name connected to Calhoun for years now. Do we have an update on that?
Yeah, Drew, for years, prosecutors have connected Calhoun to a woman by the name of Ashley Rial. She was 22 when she died. Authorities say that she was found near Eagle Creek in May of 2023. Prosecutors say that's an active investigation and they're working with authorities in Clackamas County, but so far no charges have been filed against Calhoun in relation to Rial's death. Still, family and victims' families of both Kristen Smith and other victims tell me yesterday that this indictment is a step in the right direction. Drew, China.
Yeah, it's a story we've been covering for years. We'll continue to follow. Thomas Schultz with the latest in downtown Portland. All right, not a huge election day, so to speak, but residents in Southwest Washington did have a chance to cast their votes during yesterday's state primary election. One of the races we're following this morning is the one for Mayor of Stevenson out in the Gorge. That race includes current City Councilor Lucy Losser, a transgender candidate who police arrested earlier this summer for protesting topless against President Trump. The latest results show Losser is third in a three-person race and really way behind the leader, Jenny Collins-Taylor. Jenny Collins-Taylor has earned 65% of the vote so far. In Clark County, a proposition that would lift a levy cap to provide more funding for Fort Vancouver regional libraries is tracking to pass at this point with 53% of the vote.
And Vancouver residents will also vote this fall on whether or not to raise property taxes to fund more police. City Council just approved putting it on the November ballot. If it passes, the levy would add up to 13 officers, cover equipment and vehicles, and help pay for investigations and traffic enforcement. City leaders say more officers are needed to reduce response times and meet the demands of a growing population. Voters rejected a similar proposal last November.
Tigard police are sharing a really disturbing story after they arrested an 18-year-old who's accused of attacking an 82-year-old woman. Investigators say Marcellus Ford followed the woman on Sunday evening along a popular walking trail that runs right behind the Tigard Public Library. They say he then attacked her and took off. Cyclists passing by found the woman and she was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Ford is charged with second-degree assault.
Oregon officials have announced a $160 million investment in affordable housing across the state. That will support building and preserving of 10 rental housing developments totaling more than 740 homes. This includes the Goose Hollow Lofts in Portland, which are being turned into affordable housing. Regarding the investment, Governor Tina Kotek said in part, these projects will go a long way to helping Oregonians afford to live where they work in the communities that suit them best. Your time now is 7:07, and this year's wildfire season has been pretty mild compared to past years, but with the potential of a heat wave next week, the fire threat is expected to be high the rest of the summer. At this point, this year we've seen more wildfires break out than this time last year, though the amount of acres burned is down. The Northwest Interagency Coordination Center says it expects August, September, and early October to be hot in the Northwest, and is reminding folks to be extra cautious and not to do things that could spark wildfires.
Really nothing better, Rod, for firefighters dealing with wildfires than some of this cool, wet weather we're getting right now.
Yeah, I want to make a clarification. I think a lot of people do this. They look at an extended outlook and it shows above normal temperatures and they say, it's going to be hot. Well, we'll see. But keep in mind, above normal temperatures doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be what a lot of us would call hot. It simply means when you look at what the averages are, you're going to be above normal. And in fact, we've been above normal by 1.5 degrees going back to June, but I think a lot of us would say, it hadn't really been that hot. So we'll see how the rest of this month and into September plays out. And clearly wildfire season can go easily all the way into October. So we still have a long ways to go. All right. Hey, we're doing well. 18/100ths of an inch in the gauge out at the airport. So far, Hillsborough lagging behind a little bit less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. And only just barely measurable down in Salem. And this time around the coast has had less than 1/10 of an inch. So actually PDX out along the Columbia has been the bullseye of rain so far. Now, what had been steady rain for a handful of hours is now starting to break up a little bit. You can see the wave of steadier rain now in the Cascades, out through the Central Gorge, and then moving up into Washington. So far, as I mentioned, this has not been stormy at all. It's just been light to gentle rain. There's really no wind. You can see right now it's dry in Salem. There are some breaks coming in across Yamhill and Washington counties this morning as well. I still think just expect it to be raining at least as much as it's not, if not more so, through about 9 o'clock this morning. And then eventually this will become increasingly scattered precipitation this afternoon. If you have plans this afternoon, maybe you see a shower, maybe you don't. Again, most of the rain is what we're now in the middle of. Here is a socked-in Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. We do have a person enjoying a stroll on the beach with the raindrops coming down, 62 degrees down Lincoln County. Shalem Tasting Room in Sherwood. Raindrops on the lens here as well. 62 is the current number. we're all about the same. We all have the same cloud deck. We've all seen some light rain. 61 in West Lynn and Wilsonville, and Salem 63, and Almsville is 64. This is a day that's expected to be dry in central Oregon and eastern Oregon, with the rain becoming increasingly widely scattered this afternoon. Comfortable temperature statewide. In fact, most areas will be shy of 80, even out east today. Weather impact alert this morning, just for the wet conditions. 72 the high. We're dry and 76 tomorrow. Then we start to warm up. We're still eyeing the potential of 100-degree heat this coming Monday. Still eyeing the potential of at least 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, of 90 or better to get into next week. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's pick it up in North Portland. There is your southbound I-5 drive. It's kind of the camera's a little jittery. I apologize for that. Traffic is moving, albeit slowly. Right now, your trip from Clark County. We'll zoom in real quick. And it's kind of a slog, a slow one right now from SR 500 down into North Portland. So with that in mind, your commute to get you from Main Street down to I-405 is up to about 20 minutes. Been holding steady there for the last little while. Some good news on the Sunset. A pair of earlier crashes, both east and westbound, they have cleared, and the backup that we had around that is beginning to flush out. Meanwhile, over on the east side, you can see the road spray, the vapor trails coming off the cars in the rain this morning. Traffic is still moving along eastbound okay. The westbound commute, though, of course, as always, this time in the morning, it's busy. 23 minutes now to get you from Troutdale west to the I-5 split. China?
Thank you, Chris. It's not quite back to school season yet, but it is school supply drive season here at KGW. Coming up next on Sunrise, we'll see how your donations can help local students start the school year off with confidence.
And we've been live all morning over in Tualatin, Lee Farms, the site of the annual Sunflower Festival, which kicks off today. So we're right there for the start of things. It runs through Sunday, August 24th. We'll share more details and more sunflowers with you as Sunrise rolls on after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
This is the first full week of our annual KGW School Supply Drive, and we'll continue to collect donations through August 28th.
KGW's Catherine Cook spoke to one of Portland Public Schools leaders who says the need to help teachers, students, and their families has only become greater over the years.
On the first day of school, there's so much for kids to look forward to.
When I think about just the excitement at the beginning of the school year, it's like meeting your teacher, having your friends back again. But there's also like the anxiety that comes with having all the things you need.
Things like pencils, paper, crayons, and backpacks. Isaac Cardona with Portland Public Schools knows how critical it is for kids to have everything they need and how good it feels to make sure they have it.
I think it's an amazing thing to help prepare kids for school. Just post-pandemic, there's a lot of need, like families are struggling.
As chief of schools for PPS, Cardona sees that need firsthand. He's thankful that many Portland schools buy supplies in bulk for kids paid for by PTA donations and student fees. And then there's Schoolhouse Supplies. The nonprofit provides free school supplies to teachers in classrooms where at least half their students qualify for free and reduced lunch. And Schoolhouse Supplies gets a huge chunk of their support from the KGW School Supply Drive.
Just like the sheer joy on their faces when they get something new that's theirs, their own, that they can have for school. It's fantastic.
This year, our goal is to collect enough donations to provide supplies for 15,000 kids. A $25 donation provides one student with basic supplies. And it doesn't just help kids at the beginning of the school year. Most run out of supplies by the start of the second semester and can't replace them.
So if you can see that smile on a kid's face, by all means, keep donating either money or supplies, because it really does make a difference in not just one kid's life, but classrooms, schools, a whole district.
In North Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And one of the easiest ways to help is by giving online. Go to kgw.com/school and click Donate Cash. And when you give online, you get something too. A pass to the Columbia Sportswear Employee Store. On Point Community Credit Union is stepping up in a big way this week too. They're giving $5 to the drive every time someone donates just $1 at any of its branches. You can also drop off school supplies in person this week. This weekend, we are holding a collection event at the Washington Square Mall on Saturday from noon to 4 p.m. And a big thanks to On Point, Safeway, and Rick's Custom Fencing for everything that they're doing to make this year's school supply drive a success.
Some of our prettiest pictures of the morning come from Lee Farms in Tualatin. Yeah, the sunflowers hanging out there with our sunrise photographer, Eric Patterson. The Sunflower Festival kicks off today. It's going to run until Sunday the 24th, so you have a couple of weeks to go check it out for yourself. If you've not been out to Lee Farms, they really do a good job of making it very family friendly, whether they're doing the Christmas trees in the winter or they're doing the Fall Harvest Festival, and now during the summer, the Sunflower Festival. There's lots to see beyond the sunflower fields. They do encourage you to buy tickets ahead of time, and you can do that through their website. It's OregonSunflowerFestival.com. Kind of easy to remember, right, gang?
What's that song? Sunflower fields forever.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, I
That was
think.
nice.
That's how it goes.
The flowers look, I always think flowers look happy with a little bit of gentle rain falling on them.
And we did see some drops of rain on those flowers this morning. Now, not enough rain. Am I correct in saying this? We're not seeing enough rain this morning to really bring down those or bring up those river levels.
Yeah, correct. And the Weather Service popped this up, and I wanted to pass it along to you, again, courtesy of our friends at the National Weather Service office. This is not unusual for this time of the year. Rivers are getting lower, but there's basically a warning between now and at least Monday that during low tides, if you're out boating for fun on the Willamette or the Columbia, that you need to be aware of potential low river levels. Now, I'm not an expert on this topic, but if you read this verbatim, you're like, wow, there's going to be just 0, 0, no water in the river to 1.5. Well, no, this isn't measured from the river bottom. But it does indicate you, and the only message I want you to take away from this is that rivers are running shallower than you might expect, and if you're not careful, you could run out of water with your vessel. So make sure you keep an eye on what you're doing, boating on the Columbia and the Willamette rivers through at least Monday of this week. Low tide would be the biggest risk factor for the low water levels. All right. Speaking of water, we have some, and it's free, and it's falling from the sky. No storminess with any of this you're looking at on radar. The green, of course, is the rain. No wind either. And after hours of steady gentle rain, we're just shy of 0.2 of an inch of rain now in the gauge out at PDX. We're seeing the steady rain now break into scattered showers, but there are still showers feeding in offshore. So we're going to stick with our forecast of it raining more than not, or at least as much as it's not raining through about 9 o'clock this morning. Here is 9 o'clock this morning. Futurecast shows pretty wet, especially from Salem northward. And then scattered showers continue to be a chance this afternoon. Now, as we go later and later in the day, I think it makes sense that the number of showers will become fewer and fewer. If you have plans to say 2 o'clock this afternoon, maybe you're in a spot where there's a shower, but maybe you just stay completely dry. Some cloudiness around tomorrow. Otherwise, tomorrow's all dry and we get back into partly to mostly sunny skies. So weather models have been suggesting we could get 1/4 of an inch of total rain today in Portland. We're just about up to 0.2 right now. Again, most of the rain will be this morning. Here's the Reserve Venus and Golf Club. And although the cameras are dark with the clouds and the light rain out there, 62 degrees, east-southeast winds of 7. This got my picture. Look at all the golfers. Umbrellas up. I don't know if they have a tournament out there or what's going on, but there are a lot of people on the golf course. That's Three Rivers up in Kelso. Again, there's no wind. It's gentle rain. Just have your water gear, whatever you're going to be doing this morning. You should be fine. Temperature 62 up there in Kelso, by the way. It's been raining through the gorge. The Dow's 64 right now. Valley forecast numbers are going to be cool for this time of year thanks to the clouds and the lingering scattered shower threat this afternoon. 73, 75 in the Mid-Valley, trying to get up to 70 in Longview, and Battleground shows Vancouver at 72. Again, not a bad day. The rain is gentle, and it's mostly falling this morning in terms of enough to kind of mess with you. We have the impact alert expiring at noon. 76 tomorrow, pleasant weather, all dry. 80s return into the weekend. In fact, Sunday we jumped to 94, and there's that impact alert for what could be 100-degree temperatures on Monday and 94 on Tuesday. Chris has been checking out our traffic for us.
Yeah, Ron, thanks for that. Our fourth freeway crash of the morning. We pick it up over on the east side. It appears that this is northbound 205 near the Airport Way exit ramp. You can see police and emergency crews on the scene. No lanes at this point are blocked, but it interestingly looks like it's creating slowing on the southbound side of the freeway coming across the Glen Jackson Bridge. So plan an extra minute or two there. Southbound out of Clark County on 205. And then, of course, the I-5 slog, which is there every day, is a little more slow today in the rain. There you go, puttering along at about 13 miles an hour through North Portland. Total trip in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge is about 22 minutes. Not to be outdone, the Banfield, which is always slow this time of the day, also running pretty thick. There's your inbound commute out near I-205. Right now, the trip in from Troutdale rolling along in about 26 minutes. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. President Trump's latest tariff deadline, roughly 14 hours away at this point. We'll look at which countries are still working to make a trade deal with the U.S., plus some other national headlines when the Sunrise Show continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
President Trump's on-again, off-again tariff deadline is a little less than 14 hours away. White House staff also dealing with some other frustrations in D.C., including a push from some Republicans for more transparency in the Jeffrey Epstein case. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest on all this from the nation's capital.
Now, inside 12 hours of President Trump's tariffs taking effect,
we made the greatest trade deals in the history of our country.
Not all of the deals are done. Negotiations with China, Switzerland, India, and others still in the mix. Uncertainty that leaves many worrying about who will ultimately pay the tab. Heavy equipment maker Caterpillar warning tariffs could bring a $1.5 billion bottom line loss. And Marriott citing tariffs in a drop of government and international travel to the U.S.
I try not to go over like $50 because that's kind of like my budget.
A new Associated Press poll shows a majority of Americans say the cost of groceries are now a major source of stress.
The idea that your fresh food is going to double or triple in price in a matter of days from when you previously purchased it, I think is a cause of concern for anyone.
And all of that unfolding as the White House also deals with growing pressure for transparency in the Jeffrey Epstein case. The president suggesting transcripts of a recent 9-hour Justice Department interview with Epstein associate and convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell could soon be released. Her legal team, though, pushing back in a written statement saying whatever interest the public may have in Epstein, her legal options are viable and her due process rights remain. Maxwell currently appealing her conviction.
The ayes are 8, the nays are 2.
While the House Oversight Committee is now calling on the Justice Department to turn over all of its files on Epstein and Maxwell by August 19th. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
Let's take a look at some other national headlines with your morning rush. Nearly 60 people in New York City are dealing with Legionnaire's disease, and 2 people have died. Health officials report the outbreak is linked to contaminated cooling misters in central Harlem, saying bacteria grows in warm, stagnant water and can spread through the mist that's released from some of those rooftop misting towers. You cannot get Legionnaires from other people who have it, but inhaling that mist can make people sick. The National Weather Service is hiring back hundreds of workers after massive cuts in a federal hiring freeze earlier this year. The agency says it plans to refill 450 positions, including 126 new mission-critical positions. More than 500 Weather Service employees were laid off or forced to retire as part of budget cuts under the Trump administration. Speaking of the president, President Trump has signed an executive order creating a task force for the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. The group will oversee federal coordination for the Games, with the president chairing the task force and Vice President J.D. Vance serving as vice chair. President Trump says the team will work to make sure the Olympics are, quote, safe, seamless, and historically successful. And that's a look at your morning rush. Speaking of the Olympics, today marks 6 months until the start of the next Winter Games in Italy. Those games will start on February 6th, bringing together more than 3,500 athletes from 93 different countries. Competition will feature 16 sports from ski jumping and snowboarding to bobsledding and figure skating. It'll be the first Winter Olympics held in Europe since 2006.
We've been able to move really quickly to protect people's rights.
Volunteers in downtown Portland are pushing back against ICE arrest. We're going to show you exactly what they're doing and what federal agencies have to say about it.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be
We are coming up on 7:29 on our wet Wednesday morning commute. I start off with another crash. This one is the northbound Marine Drive on-ramp to I-5 northbound. The southbound commute, of course, is slow. This is the northbound on-ramp from Marine Drive. Meanwhile, over on the east side, this is I-205 north at the Airport Way exit. You can see police still handling this crash scene, an ambulance on the scene as well. No lanes are blocked, but it is kind of a visual distraction for the southbound side, so you can see there. That's also puttering along a little bit. Right now, your drive times are 25 minutes to get you from Main Street and about 20 minutes southbound 205. That's Patton Parkway to the Banfield. Rod?
Well, it is wet outside. If anything, here in Portland, we're starting to get some breaks in the rain, which we didn't have for hours. It was just steady, light to gentle rainfall. I mean, the radar is still blanketing a good portion of western Oregon and certainly up into Washington. We've got rain out through the Columbia River Gorge and up into the Cascades as well. You see scattered showers around Tillamook this morning. Portland certainly socked in with the clouds and the rain in the region. Impact alert up until noon. Most of the rain we get today will be this morning. Today's size 72. Hot weather to start next week.
Who wants to see a sunflower?
Me!
I do.
What is that?
Oh, that one's dark.
Oh, I'm glad you asked, China Green. I'm glad you guys like it, Chris and Rod. I'll start with the basics. We're out at Leaf Farms in Tualatin. We're checking out day one of their Sunflower Festival. Eric Patterson has been out there all morning long, and yes, this is a very unique sunflower. I'm actually stalling right now to pull up the information.
I'm curious.
I know you are.
Flower.
Eric sent it to me earlier about what exactly this one is called. Okay, so here it is. I've got it in front of me now. This one is called the chocolate cherry sunflower.
Really?
Yes, the chocolate cherry.
So it's healthy. It's supposed to look like.
It's supposed to look just like this. It's a specific variety known for its unique color combination of dark red or brownish burgundy petals and a chocolate brown center. Again, the chocolate cherry sunflower. Boom! There it is.
I didn't know that. I didn't know there were different varieties like that.
I thought they were dead.
That's what I thought.
Burnt.
No.
So I guess
Very much alive.
Almost matches your dress there.
Oh,
a little bit with the
China. Yes.
The blue sunflowers are the next hour.
Sunflower Festival, by the way, goes until August 24th. We'll have more later.
All right, looks great. Here's a look at our rainy morning. We have the impact alert up simply because we don't have rainy commutes this time of the year very often, so we wanted to grab your attention. And Chris has been continues to track at least some accidents out there this morning, so extra time may be a good idea for you. There's nothing stormy here. It's been gentle to light rain. There's no wind. We're now starting to see some breaks in the action as rain starting to become a little bit more scattered, certainly over Portland. Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City reporting, it's foggy too, 62, no wind out there, just light rain falling. Here's downtown Portland, raindrops in the region, 62 as well, and our day planner for you today. The impact alert up until about noon. This afternoon, there is still a scattered shower threat, but most of the total rain we see will be this morning. That's why we have it highlighted in red. 66 at noon. If you have plans later today, maybe you're in a spot where you find a shower. 72, that's it for a high temperature. Here is Chris.
Rod, 6 freeway crashes and counting this morning. Let's take you to the latest. This is over on the east side, I-205 northbound near the Airport Way exit. It looks like it's right near the gore point of the exit ramp, so no lanes are blocked. But interestingly, it's slowing the southbound side of the freeway as folks kind of slow to see what's going on the other side there. So with that in mind, we need some extra time there. The other crash reported on the ramp now from Marine Drive to northbound I-5. The southbound I-5 commute obviously far busier at this hour, and that's running along pretty slowly in the rain this morning. 26 minutes now to get you from Main Street to the Fremont. 20 minutes for southbound I-205 drive out of Clark County as well. That's from Patton Parkway to the Banfield. Just for the privilege of then getting in this lineup, which is westbound I-84. This is just west of I-205. That's running a little thick as well. Right now, 26 minutes. Get you in from Troutdale to I-5. Guys?
Thank you, Chris. And we do have an update on that pavement project on Cornelius Pass Road. So day 2 of work, which was set for today, has been delayed because of the rain. Crews now expect to finish the job tomorrow or Friday. If you drive that route, check tripcheck.com for closures and detours.
For several months now, we've covered federal agents in Portland detaining people after immigration hearings and taking them north to the ICE detention facility in Tacoma.
But volunteers are working to prevent that from happening moving forward. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has the story.
In downtown Portland, the federal building seems quiet, but watch closely, you'll see something interesting. Volunteers stand outside monitoring court hearings.
Anytime those hearings are happening, which is most days of the week, we have volunteers on the ground.
Natalie Lerner coordinates hundreds of legal observers who have attended more than 300 preliminary hearings. Recently, those hearings have gained attention as ICE has arrested people after they end, something they are allowed to do after the Trump administration rescinded guidelines preventing courthouse arrests in May.
I think we've done very well on immigration. We were given a very bad hand by Biden.
In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security said, in part, ICE is now following the law and placing these illegal aliens in expedited removal. If they have a valid, credible fear claim, they will continue in immigration proceedings. If not, they'll be deported.
Do you have a warrant?
In June, this asylum seeker was arrested in downtown Portland and taken to Tacoma, Washington, the nearest ICE detention facility.
ICE is trying to whisk people sort of out of state to be away from the jurisdiction of the Oregon federal court.
Volunteers are trying to stop that by escorting people to and from hearings and alerting lawyers to arrests.
There's a robust presence of people there with eyes on the illegality.
Jordan Cunnings is a lawyer with Innovation Law Lab. She says once attorneys are notified of arrests, they file habeas petitions, arguing the detainments are unlawful before people are taken out of state.
We've been able to move really quickly to protect people's rights.
And in Oregon, there's no ICE detention facilities. So ICE is instead forced to release a person from detention while the petition is pending. But there's a catch. For Oregon to maintain jurisdiction, lawyers must file petitions before people are taken out of state.
Often a habeas petition with the federal court is the only realistic way we can get someone released.
And with the Columbia River less than 9 miles away, they have to work fast.
It's a little bit of a race, to be honest, yeah.
A race they think they're winning.
It also, I think, has had a deterrent effect on ICE activity.
Lerner says volunteers haven't seen ICE near the Portland Federal Building lately, leading to fewer arrests.
There's a lot of folks who are really passionate about protecting their neighbors.
In Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Two Gresham families are safe after a fire ripped through their duplex. Fire officials say the fire was likely sparked by a lithium-ion battery that was left charging in a neighbor's unit. According to Lieutenant Deputy Fire Marshal Brandon Baird, it's not the first time that a fire was started by rechargeable batteries. And he says not all batteries are made to the same standard and that cheaper replacement batteries are prone to overheating.
In the manufacturing process, they're taking shortcuts. The thermal cutoffs aren't being installed, and so we're seeing those overheat during the charging process.
Now he adds that damaged batteries and larger ones like those used in bikes, scooters, and RC cars can pose an even greater fire risk, especially if left unattended.
All right, check this out in Southeast Portland. Newly released surveillance video shows the moment someone started a fire on a preschool playground. You can see that man who walked up to the play structure on Sunday. A few seconds from now, we're going to see a glow, and right there, what definitely looks like the start of a fire, right? So that playground is part of Cairo Academy. It's a school that serves immigrant and refugee families.
We had no idea what was burning. We were just monitoring to make sure it wasn't coming this way.
This was about safety, it was about sense of belonging, it was about community pride. So that is what is lost more than the dollars.
Because it serves immigrant and refugee families, investigators believe the school may have been targeted as part of a bias crime. Cairo is raising money through a GoFundMe to try and rebuild that structure, and they still plan to welcome kids back when school starts in September.
Manuel Espinoza, the man who pleaded guilty to supplying a fentanyl-laced pill to a 16-year-old that killed him, was sentenced to more than 13 years in federal prison. Griffin Hoffman, a McDaniel High School sophomore, died from the incident 3.5 years ago. He took a pill thinking it was oxy, but it turned out to be fentanyl. We've continued to follow Griffin's and his family's story over the last 3 years, and we put all those stories together as a streaming special on our free TV app, KGW+. It includes how to talk to your family about the dangers of the drug. Watch Griffin's story, Stopping the Flood of Fentanyl, anytime on demand on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV.
Our Check This Out segment this morning is right here in our backyard. Leaf Farms in Tualatin, and this farm has been around, I want to say, since 1869. If I'm off, I'm only off by a year or two. And bottom line, that's a long time, right? Family farming, I believe it's 7 generations now out there at Leaf Farms. In Tualatin, this time of the year, it's their Sunflower Festival that draws in the crowds. Day 1 of the festival is today. Lots of flowers out there. They also have that big sunflower maze that you can check out. petting zoo for the kids, lots of other kids activities. Terrific farm store if you've not been out there. Again, the Sunflower Festival, which starts today, will run until Sunday, August 24th. So you have a couple of weeks to check it out. And they do encourage people to buy tickets for this ahead of time. The website, I think, is easy to remember. It's OregonSunflowerFestival.com.
Very cool. And if you look at those sunflowers, water droplets.
Oh, yeah.
Ron?
Yes, and they look happy. Don't you think they look happy? They're going,
they're drinking.
Feels kind of nice. Yeah, they're drinking. We do have gentle rain across the area, nothing stormy. Not much of any wind. So far, Portland's picked up just shy of 0.2 of an inch of rain. So enough to be beneficial, absolutely. If you have plans today, I know of all days, right, for the rain to be coming down. This will break into scattered showers increasingly so, I think, especially after 9 o'clock this morning. And if you have afternoon plans, you may or may not find where one of those scattered showers are. The biggest push of rain is already observationally starting to move to our east and the Cascades. Been raining out through the gorge and up into central Washington as well. So you can see Salem back to Newport, not much. It's really breaking into scattered showers. The main front has pushed onshore, but we will see lingering scattered showers, it looks like, this afternoon, as mentioned. So here's the way we look. It's in the 40s up at Timberline, 46 degrees. They have rain at the lodge, too, and they're setting in the clouds. A little foggy up there, and raindrops on the lens down in Oregon City. This is the camera at the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center down there just off of 205. Temperatures, we're all about the same, generally around 60, 62 Tigard, Westland, Beaverton, Hillsboro, Vancouver. Anybody else at 62? Kaiser, Dallas, yes. Good morning to you. Down in Albany at 65 degrees. Bernie is our KGW dog of the day. Hello, Bernie. Hello. Dog of the day at kgw.com is the email address. Send us your dog's photo. Name your dog will become our dog of the day. That's Bernie this morning. If you have plans to be out east, it's cloudy over in Central Oregon this morning, but expected to be mainly dry and expected to see increasing sunshine this afternoon. Should just be a sunny day out in Burns and really comfortable. Highs only around 80 degrees. No hot weather. 60s and then just getting up to 70 or slightly above here in the valley with the decreasing scattered showers this afternoon. So the impact alert just this morning, mainly for the wet weather during the commute. 72 the high. Tomorrow dry, but still really comfy, 76. 82 on Friday, and then we still have 94 on Sunday. We have an impact alert for the potential of 100-degree temperatures this coming Monday, playing around the heat, and 94 on Tuesday. Here's Chris.
Thank you for that. Let's pick up the drive in Wilsonville. Something looks like it's hanging up the drive just north of Wilsonville Road because traffic as you get up towards Elixir Road picks up speed. So we'll be on the lookout for that. I mean, it's moving, but just let you know that's one spot I'm watching. Door number 2 right now takes us to the Banfield, slow and steady coming in through the Hollywood district. That's kind of normal for this hour of a Wednesday morning drive. We're keeping our eyes on this as well. This is that earlier crash on 205 northbound. It looks like no lanes blocked at this point. It's near the Airport Way exit. Police and ODOT still on the scene of that one. Right now, your drive times, interestingly, the northbound 205 crash may be adding to some of the slowing on the southbound side of the freeway right now. 25 minutes gets you in from Patton Parkway to the Banfield, and nearly 30 minutes is the I-5 commute, guys. That's from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris.
I think the real anxiety is maybe not so much the prices, but where the prices are going to go.
Yeah, we can sum up this next story with 3 words: grocery, shopping, anxiety. Coming up on the Sunrise Show, we're going to share some tips and tricks to make your groceries and your money stretch a little farther.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Our next story this morning is about spending anxiety these days at the grocery store.
A new Associated Press poll shows a lot of people are worried about food prices. Libby Dowsett has some tips and tricks to navigate the high prices.
Shoppers at Basics Market along Portland's Southwest Capitol Highway are feeling stressed.
I think it's scary, and I don't think it's going to get any better soon.
I think that I've certainly stopped grocery shopping as much.
Economist Eric Fruits agrees.
I think the real anxiety is maybe not so much the prices, but where the prices are going to go.
In a new poll conducted last month, the Associated Press found the vast majority of U.S. adults are at least somewhat stressed about the cost of groceries. About half of Americans, 53%, say the cost of groceries is a major source of stress in their life right now. 33% say it's a minor source of stress. 14% say it's not a source of stress. Nearly half of those polled say they are also stressed about housing, not to mention tariffs.
Those tariffs haven't fully hit yet. And when they do, they're going to ripple through in so many ways. You know, you buy a can of soda, the aluminum is going to be hit with a tariff. You look at a can of tomatoes, the metal in that can hit with tariffs. The tomatoes themselves, they could come from Mexico, would get hit with a tariff.
Employees at On Point Community Credit Union are helping more customers learn to budget.
Making sure that they're utilizing the food that they're buying in a timely manner, but then also, not breaking the budget.
Branch manager Meredith Bureau says with meat prices soaring, stretching one key meat ingredient can make several meals.
Hamburger could then be, taco meat later the next night. You can make spaghetti. So a lot of things that you can do with just ground beef.
She said make a list, buy non-perishables in bulk, and shop around for coupons.
Prices of some things are a lot some places and then lower other places. So I'll split up between Fred Meyer or Basics or New Seasons, depending on what I'm looking for.
One last tip, watch the checkout line.
Put your blinders on because everything in that checkout line is designed for that impulse purchase.
Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Here's a look at some of your consumer headlines. Meta says it's cracking down on scammers. Already this year, the company has banned nearly 7 million WhatsApp accounts because of alleged criminal activity. Yesterday, Meta said many of the scam accounts had ties to criminal operations in Southeast Asia. The NFL and ESPN have reached a major deal that gives the league a 10% ownership stake in the network. In exchange here, ESPN gets control of the NFL network and will have rights to the popular NFL Red Zone. The NFL will still continue to own and operate NFL Films, the NFL.com, and the official NFL team website. And Dunkin' is teaming up with Kahlua for a sweet new adult drink. It's called Kahlua Dunkin' Caramel Swirl Cream Liqueur.
Wow. Say that again.
Kahlua Dunkin' Caramel Swirl Cream Liqueur. Just rolls off your tongue. It's a rum-based blend with chocolate, Mexican coffee beans with the flavor notes of toffee, vanilla, and dulce de leche. The company says it's a perfect thing to do over ice or in an espresso martini.
Does it sound good to you, China?
Yeah. I've actually become a fan of the espresso martinis because typically if I drink anything, it's usually wine, and I just want to go to bed, and I'm no fun. So the espresso martinis, woo, I'm amped.
I know that you like to put a little bit of that Kahlua in your coffee now and again, not necessarily at work.
Happy juice. My wife makes me a cappuccino every Saturday and Sunday morning. Gentlemen, that's how you know if you married well, by the way. But she puts a little blend of happy juice in it. Oh, I like it.
At what time?
When I wake up Saturday and Sunday morning, whatever time it is.
Okay.
Gets this day started the right way.
Keeps me happy all weekend, in case you're wondering. All right, take a look at our rain map, ladies and gentlemen. 18 107 inch so far in Portland, trying to get to 10th and Hillsborough, exceeding that in Scappoose and Vancouver. No storminess. So far, all of the rain rates I've seen on radar just been light, gentle, and, nearing 2/10 of an inch of rain. That's a little nice soak for this time of the year. It still appeared, now Salem hasn't had as much, only 0.01 down at McNary Field, and less than a tenth of an inch of rain so far, both Newport and Astoria. We've had at least traces of rain make it out into the Dalles, otherwise all dry when you get east of the Cascades. Here it is on the radar this morning. And see this fetch of moisture right here? This is what was steady rain over Portland for hours and hours, but now that is pushed to our east, the main front moving inland. You can see it's scattered now, I-5 back to the west, and overall, here comes the current picture. Not a ton of rain, but absolutely, it still looks like, number one, most of the rain we're going to pick up today comes this morning, and maybe the wettest part of our day is now coming to a close. There will be a lingering scattered shower threat for you this afternoon. Now we have a KGW weather impact alert up this morning simply because the roads have been wet. We don't get this type of weather during the morning commute that often this time of the year. And Chris has been tracking some accidents out there this morning as well. He's coming up in just a moment with your update. Here's Futurecast 9 o'clock this morning. We were thinking raining maybe more than not through about 9 a.m. And then here are the number of scattered showers decreasing and decreasing this afternoon. And eventually the rain chances will come to an end tonight. We'll have early cloudiness and then partly to mostly sunny skies tomorrow. So right now we're cloudy in most areas of seeing at least a touch of rain. Salem currently reporting dry weather. 63 is the number. Portland, let's see here. PDX still saying we have a shower or some rain along the Columbia out there. 63, not much wind. East-southeast at 7. It's been raining up into Seattle, 62. It's been raining out through much of the gorge today, this morning as well. The Dow's reporting 64. It's dry in Bend, 59. Cloudiness will give way to increasing sunshine for those of you watching us in Central Oregon this morning. Valley forecast numbers, cloudiness, a lingering scattered shower throughout this afternoon. Highs just getting up into the 70s. In Southwest Washington, pretty similar, just getting up to around 70 degrees. Here's our 7-day. No big changes from yesterday. The impact alert will expire at noon. At that time, most of the rain for today actually will be over. Just that scattered lingering shower threat. Tomorrow's all dry, 76. Friday's really great, 82. Saturday, mid-80s. And then we get hot. Sticking with 94 on Sunday. The impact alert for 100 degrees or close to it on Monday. And then still in the 90s with an impact alert for the hot weather on Tuesday of next week. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. 5, if you're counting, 5 freeway crashes this morning. The good news in terms of those, we haven't heard of any major injuries. Also, those crashes are all cleared. But with the rain, the drive times are elevated for sure. I-5 right now is a 30-minute commute from Main Street to the Fremont. I-205 is heavy over the Glen Jackson Bridge this morning. Here's a look at that slow go on southbound I-5 up near Delta Park. That's kind of always, but it's a little extra slow this time of the morning, or today, I should say. There's I-205 over the Glen Jackson Bridge. Let's switch gears. We'll take you over to the Sunset. Again, a pair of earlier crashes in the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Both directions, by the way, they have cleared, but the drive is still slow and steady on that side of town, as is the commute northbound through the Twilliger Curves. We had an earlier crash there. That, too, is out of the way. Right now, the trip in from Wilsonville, about 35 minutes, and the drive in from Hillsboro, 25 minutes. We will be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
The 2023 implosion of the Titan sub and the death of all 5 passengers on board was, quote, preventable. That's according to a U.S. Coast Guard investigation. Sebastian Robinson with our sister station Seattle walks us through the findings.
The U.S. Coast Guard's investigating body confirming what many whistleblowers have long claimed. The Titan submersible was likely doomed before it hit the water.
Definitely, it was an exploitation of the gaps in the system.
In 2023, OceanGate's Titan launched some 900 miles east of New England, diving to the wreckage of the Titanic. It lost contact with the surface just 1 hour and 45 minutes into its dive. 4 days later, OceanGate confirmed all 5 people on board, including Stockton Rush, its founder, was killed.
By taking people to the Titanic and getting awareness of what can be done underwater, I hope we'll get a cadre of mission specialists that say, look, I want to go every year.
The Coast Guard, more than 2 years later, found that the company's failure to follow, quote, safety testing and maintenance of their submersible was the primary causal factor of the accident.
It was a tough group to work with. They had a different mindset on how to proceed with the program than we did.
Investigators also narrowing in on what they call OceanGate's toxic workplace environment, which they claim used firings to dissuade employees from expressing safety concerns.
Don't forget, until they had a bad day, everyone thought they were the coolest thing because they were showing everyone they were right, they were taking the risk, and they were the heroes until it all went bad. So they had all the good press. They just kept pushing their luck. And the reason why it failed was their decisions were bad.
As for Stockton Rush, the media-friendly CEO, he died in the accident, along with a well-known Titanic expert and 3 so-called adventure tourists. And with his death, the possibility of criminal charges for a man the Coast Guard says repeatedly ignored warnings and pushed safety boundaries.
Coming up, a man already accused of killing 3 local women is now charged with murdering of a 4th. We'll have the latest details on Jesse Calhoun as prosecutors continue their investigation.
Plus, the most active volcano in the world at it again this morning in Hawaii. We're going to have more live looks at the latest eruption coming up here at 8:30.